Good morning, Sveta. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Could you please perhaps shortly introduce yourself, who you are? Yeah, let's start with that. Who you are? Who are you?
Who am I? Actually, I was in the metro thinking about that. What could I say? Because I have different answers. And usually, when I identify myself, I say that I'm a myth author.
Okay.
Yes, and that's a joke that I have. But partially, it could be the truth because I work with mythology. And I kind of consider actually the memory and the imagination as a part of this process. So because I work with imagination to create ideas, but at the same time, since imagination is influenced by the memory, so they are interconnected processes in the human brain, I see it as a system for myself. So I call myself as a myth author. And but if you put it aside, I'm an interdisciplinary artist and a creative director. So I work
Okay.
now.
And you
Yeah, like
literally come from the coolest place on the planet, right?
Yes.
Which is?
Yakutsk, Republic of Sakha. Yeah, it's very cold. And it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was born there and I lived there till I was 18. So I moved around 7 years ago. So now I'm almost 25.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how was it like growing up in the coldest place, which is habited by human? Tell us something about it. I'm super curious. How was your childhood there?
Yeah, it was one of the most impressive experiences that I have ever had. So I always reflect on what was happening with me in my childhood because that's something that you cannot imagine and still this is something that I explore a lot and refer a lot in my work. And one of the probably memories that can describe how it feels, how does it feel to live when it's minus 50, is the memory when I was going to the school. So it was around 8 a.m. and it was like January, February, and I remember how I was walking. So it was one direction always because I was staying in one school. So I was walking in the same way like for several years. But when it's completely cold, when it's minus 50, and the thing is that we had to go to school when it's minus 49 in high school because everything closed when it's minus 50. So as soon as I remember. And it was around minus 48, minus 49. And I was walking on this road. And I remember that everything was in fog, everything was white. And you walk and you don't see anything. You don't see 2 meters in front of yourself. You just see like just the road and nothing else. Everything is just completely disappeared. And I remember that this space, that's something that keep following me because you just have to keep going. You just have to keep remembering how to walk, how to just stick with the road. And it's a big metaphor that actually can be compared to what I experienced when I moved here because I didn't understand what was happening with me, but I kind of felt that I have to just keep doing things, keep walking. And yeah, that's basically what you experience there because it's really intense. You cannot really think that point, like that moment, because it's so cold and you cannot breathe because like you have to breathe through so you have to breathe
Like through a scarf or something?
Yeah, through a scarf. So you have only your eyes visible. You have like fewer I don't know. So what is this?
It's like a hat?
Hat, yes. Fewer hat, fewer coat, like few boots. So everything is in fewer or like very big jackets. And it's very heavy, of course. It's super heavy and you concentrate on just walking. So then you go to school, then you spend there the day, which is like around 4 hours of light you spend inside of the building because you have to study. And then you go out around 3 p.m. and it's already almost dark. So the light day is around 4 hours per day, so
Yeah.
it's very intense, of course, for like just being.
But summers must have been different, right?
Yeah. Summer is super. It's summer is very hot.
Really hot?
Yes, it's around 30
Really?
degree, 35.
Wow, I didn't know. I didn't expect that. I
Yeah.
thought it would go up, I don't know, to 10, 15 or something.
No.
but
It's big, very big contrasts.
Yeah.
Yes, and very short. So it's not. So the winter is around 6 months, and the summer is around 3 months,
Okay.
and few months for spring and autumn. It's always almost forgotten by the nature,
Yeah,
that it
yeah.
exists. Yeah.
And how does climate change affect that part of the world?
Actually affects a lot, because now the frequency of big fires changed, and now it's more frequent. Also, it started melting. The permafrost is melting, and
Because the city is used to be at least on a constant permafrost, right?
yeah. It's. I mean, it's still on the constant permafrost.
It's still, yeah. But now
And
the permafrost itself is changing.
yeah,
now.
it's changing. It's changing, and of course, it influenced a lot the way how we perceive this as well. Because during the summer, like there were months when everything was again in fog. So like,
Yeah.
because of the fire happening, like in forests. So when during the winter it's fog, like there is fog because of the weather, and during the summer there is fog, like there is fog because of the fire.
Yeah.
So, and this shows a lot as well, because people like the government haven't used to solve natural problems that fast, and now like because of this frequency, like many people suffered because of this. Not inside the city, but inside the city you suffer because of the breathing is not so healthy, so you cannot breathe this. So as people who have asthma suffer a lot from this, but some people's houses even were burned because of this problem. Yeah.
Okay, a completely different question.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, you mentioned that there are only 7 of you from that part of the world in Budapest, right?
Around yeah.
7.
I'm not sure anymore.
Anyway, something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Not too many of
No,
you.
I think under 10.
How did you end up in Budapest?
Yeah, so I was living in Moscow, and before that I was living in Kazan. So I moved already twice, and in Moscow I spent 4 years. And during the time I was gradually building some life, because I didn't have anything there as well. So when you move from this far region, when you move to the center of Russia, you basically change almost the country, because people are different. You cannot just easily go to your hometown because it's 7 hours by plane. It's not so cheap, of course. So you go there for like some holidays during the winter, maybe during the summer, but not that much. So you cannot go like every weekend to visit your parents, so or wherever. And because of this, I felt like that I moved, and I also had to spend several years to move to Moscow, because it wasn't easy for the first time. I couldn't manage it, and to make it, I had to spend another year to apply for studies, and it worked out eventually. So I moved, and after several years, already my life was more or less stable. So I could manage to meet great people and start working, doing stuff that I really wanted to do. And it was a very short time, unfortunately. And then the full-scale invasion started, and I felt that, I don't know, something changed. I think I kind of understood what will happen. I didn't understand it like directly, but because I studied journalism, my first degree is in journalism, I kind of felt that it's going to change in time. So it's going to be a slow decline. And then I thought, okay, Sveta, just try to find a solution now. Just think about what you're going to do, because you probably don't want to spend the next years just waiting. And also because I work with cultural studies, I work with ethnicities and questions around it. I thought that, okay, so I have to move. And it was around March, like few weeks after the invasion started. And I started looking for opportunities, just like started searching around in the internet. I thought, okay, what are the options? Applying for job, one option. Second option, applying for studies. Okay. Then I thought, okay, probably this is the easiest way, because this can provide you kind of environment. You can meet people through this place. I want to try through studies. So I kind of started looking for what kind of opportunities are still there. I noticed that the rest opportunities were closed because it was already March. And that was pretty sad. Also, I didn't have English certificates as well, because I just didn't. And I didn't have actually a need at that time as well. So it kind of happened. So I thought, well, probably because of this, I cannot apply for some studies as well. And somehow it happened that I started I was doing a research about artists, mostly illustrators in the post-Soviet area. And I end up just searching in Behance, and I found a Hungarian artist. She was a photographer, and she's a photographer now still. She's an alumni of MoMA. And I found this school, so I just went through the link and saw that first time they are opening an English program in photography. And that time I already had around 8 years experience in photography. I was working in this field, but I already started changing. So I started working with moving image. I started working with lighting design, and I already went far from photography directly. But I still had projects around this. I still had portfolio, and I thought, well, probably this is the way. So just put things together and apply. And I just put things together in few weeks, because it was pretty short time already. Just put things together, send it out. Then it slowly, I spent 6 months to actually go through all stages. And
it was like a recruitment process?
Yeah, kind of like interview, portfolio, all these things together. And it worked eventually. And it worked, but I couldn't get the visa so easily. So I had very intense September 2022, I remember. I applied for visa, and I waited for around 45 days, 42 days, something like this. It was a very long process, because that time people could get in 10 days. So I already almost buried this idea. I already thought that it's not gonna work. And I had this ultimate idea: if it will not work, I will just go to Asia. I will go to Bali, as everyone goes, because most of my friends also just moved there. And I felt well, probably this could be the way, because I didn't want to stay anywhere anyway. So that's why I just decided to just wait. And when I almost gave up. So it's very rare for me to give up any idea, but I almost really gave up, because I also got a notice from the university that if you will not come to Budapest till the 30th of September, probably you will not study, because you already missed a lot. So you cannot continue just not coming, not studying. And if you will not come till the 15th or something like this, 15th of October, your scholarship will also burn. So it will not work. I was very sad, of course, and it was already 20th of September, literally. And I got my visa on the 22nd. So it was a day, I remember everything, because that day I bought a ticket, one-way ticket for 1,200 euros.
Wow.
Because there was
I guess you had to come a long way, right?
Yeah. It was also very expensive because of mobilization. It was the first wave of mobilization, and the ticket price was super high. And fortunately, I knew that I'm gonna move, so I could buy the ticket, of course. And I remember, like, I just click to buy. I called my mom, say that it worked. So, and she was like, "Don't wait, buy the ticket." And I opened a laptop. I remember this very fast decision. I opened the laptop, see that the ticket price was like around 700 euro. Then I spent like 3 minutes to think, and it was already 1,200 around this price.
Crazy.
I was like, phew, I don't know. I mean, that's really twice, like in 3 minutes. And I didn't have any opportunity, any other option. So I just bought it. And the plane was like on the 26th or 25th, something like this. So, and yeah, I just put things together and moved. Yeah.
With a backpack, right?
With a
Almost.
luggage, 30 kilograms of clothes. I put it together. Like I bought a big luggage. Just
because I guess you knew that you couldn't go back just to pick something that you left behind.
Yeah. And I had like different instruments because I was working with materials. Now I work only digital, so that's another another conversation, to be honest. But I was working with spaces, so as a lighting designer, and because of this, I had instruments. So I was building different stuff, different traverses. I had like many stuff. I had to just throw everything away. Yeah. And I remember that point, like I just put all my traverses together and go out from the place. I had my friends that day. I remember, and I just said, "This is my career." Thrown away.
And how is Budapest compared to how you imagined it before? So what are the differences?
Oh, I didn't imagine anything. I didn't have any expectations, to be honest. I just moved.
But you must have had some kind of picture in your mind about the place, even if you're a visual artist.
I mean, yeah.
You should have had something.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but I was so stressed out that I just wanted to move.
Yeah, just to get out.
Yeah, I mean, not to get out, but I wanted to move from this place. So I felt stiff. I felt that I can't talk. For me, it's so important, like to put my opinion on the table, like about different topics, and if of course there is a space for this. Of course, it's not like something that I just throw everywhere. But I remember that. I didn't expect so much. I was in Budapest when I was 12.
Okay.
Yes, I was in Budapest when I was 12. I remember that it was a beautiful city. That's it.
Okay.
I was happy that I'm moving to Europe because in this case I can travel. Because in this way I can see more and I can learn more. And for me, traveling is very important. So I traveled a lot before COVID. I was traveling alone. And so I felt already that I want to move a bit.
Yeah. Where did you pick your English? I mean, okay, let me ask again. So where did you pick your English?
English.
Yeah. How come you speak such a good English? I guess it's not so common, that part of the world, right? You're coming from.
Yeah. I don't know. I to be honest, I have been learning English for maybe 6 years. And 6, 7, something like this. Before that, I had English at school, but it wasn't so good. So I didn't know English that much. I couldn't speak till I was probably 20. So I didn't really understand how to speak. Then I started traveling. Also, when I started traveling alone, I had to put myself in situations when I had to speak. So I started learning it a bit. And when I moved, to be honest, here, I couldn't speak as well so much because I knew the basics. So I knew I could write because I studied like journalism. I was writing different essays in English. So I had good English at the time, but in written form. But I couldn't speak. I couldn't discuss different topics. And that something that was really missing for me for like 7 months of my life here in the beginning, because I felt I was stuck in the small talks. So about just how was my day, or I was just walking around, couldn't really find people with who I could discuss. And for me, it was always so important to discuss like different aspects of life, not just life itself. So I was feeling not so good about it. Probably that was one of the things that I really missed a lot. In Russian language.
Practically,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. Because in Russia, in Moscow, I had really great surroundings. Like I really had great people with who I could talk like about anything, and that's something that I really miss still. Although like I have now really great people to talk to, but yeah, that was really like I don't know, very intellectual.
Did MoMA give you that circle of people you expected? As you mentioned that, you mentioned that your choice to rather go to school than to get a job was to also get into a community.
Mhm.
So did MoMA provide you that community, or did you have to walk beyond and find people outside of that circle?
I found people at MoMA and I found people outside.
Yeah, but as a first step, I guess it was still very useful
Yeah,
then.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I felt that I have a goal
Yeah.
to do stuff. Yeah.
And apart from being a visual artist, you also do things in the world of startups, right? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably the more relevant topic for the audience of this
Yeah.
podcast. And if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah.
So what do you do for startups?
So we have a collective. It's called Dev Collective, DEFF, which is definite in Python. And that also, it's also a color code, to be honest. It was a fun coincidence that we found out this abbreviature when we were just looking for colors in Photoshop. So that's something that was a fun moment we investigated in the very beginning. Yeah, when I just moved here, I was exploring the scene. So I started with the market research, to be honest, because I felt, okay, I don't have so much time to sit and wait for something. I have to understand what's going on here. And since I was working already in Moscow as an art director, I knew how the creative industry works. So I moved and I started like searching for different options. Okay, I found out that being an English speaker only, so I don't know Hungarian language, it's hard to just from the very beginning start working as an art director because it's a language-based work. So you have to communicate with the client, you have to communicate with the artist, and you become a communicator, not the maker. And that's my hard skill, the communication. And because of this, I felt, okay, probably this is something that I have to put aside currently. Another thing, I have like hard skill in lighting design, but I was always working with people. I had a team, so that I was always inviting for different projects. And here, like to build a team, it takes time. So I felt, okay, probably this is also I cannot do like in the beginning, just like as a work already as my job. And then I started like just searching what's going on in the market. Noticed that, okay, I'm existing in the European segment. Like it's definitely very fragmented environment and many centers. And I started like thinking, okay, it's probably better if I will go to digital completely. So I will work digitally and see what will happen. Then I met Cora San. She's from China, and it was around October, November, and 2022. And we were just hanging out together and ended up in the conversation where we started discussing that actually we would love to open a collective, an agency, creative agency. And that point I thought, well, if I cannot now integrate like so, I mean, it will take time. Probably also I found examples as well, because I kind of felt that my destiny probably will not be so different from like destinies that I also heard about. So I thought like if I want to change this, I have to like think disruptively. So I have to think differently. And I thought, okay, probably this is the time when I have to think about business. Like and this was like something that actually Russian people really have, that to think in the crisis moment in a way that this is a chance to do something different. And I had this
So
crisis.
it's typical or untypical? I didn't
It's
get
very
it.
typical.
It's very typical.
Yeah. It's very typical, and that's what we are talking a lot about within like my Russian friends, and that in the crisis, some of my friends really started doing business.
Nice.
Yeah. They just were artists, designers, and now they have like brands or something. And that's something that I was fascinated about as well. That I was also influenced by this movement as well, of course. And I thought,
So
like, yeah.
you had an urgency also to make money. Was that part of your crisis, or it was more like to find your future?
Yeah.
That type of existence crisis, but not financially existence crisis.
No, not financially, I think. That was
Sorry, it might be even something you don't want to talk about, then just don't answer. I'm just asking questions that are popping up my mind.
Yeah, not financial. It was something that it was like I had to create a plan. So what I'm gonna do here. So one school is okay. It's there.
Probably. It's still ongoing, by the way, right?
Yeah, it's ongoing because I have so I extended it. But what I felt that, okay, I have to create a plan. Like I have to see what will happen like with me after a certain amount of time when my visa will expire. Like because I have a student visa. And that's one thing that is very limited. You cannot work fully. You cannot give invoices. So because of this, I cannot work as a freelancer, only getting cash, which is not so good.
No.
And yeah.
Also so, tricky if you get caught.
Yeah. So very tricky. And I thought that in this case, probably business is the way. And in this case, I could find also people, because this is also one thing that gives you.
That was your first step, to find your
people,
partners in crime, not literally crime, but your dudes you can work together with.
Yes. And we started like I met Cora, and we started doing this together. We are very different, and we complement each other in many ways. And
what are her skills?
She is very good in these operations questions, like about the law, finances, all this work, which is very hard for me to put together.
As an artist, you have entirely deeply different skills, I guess.
mean, I can do this. I can do budgeting very easily, to be honest, because I have been doing this for years already. Yeah. But
that's not your comfort zone.
Yeah. It's not comfort zone. And also because she has been living here for already 10 years almost, she knows more about the country. And she's also international, and she knows more people within this question. And I didn't know anyone. Like I moved completely alone, so I found that probably like, and I was always working with people. So like for me, people are very, very important. Like in every process, I put people like on the top of the list, that I support them, I protect them. I always like try to work with them in any process, that I don't care about like putting in like my name or any other names. It's more about the team, and like team building is something that I really love. Like unfortunately, I'm not so emotionally supportive person, so that's one thing that I'm missing. I know this, like, and I was told about it even like by different people in my life. But I try to support people through work, so like to kind of identify talents. And
so you picked your colleagues, let's say, from Budapest, or also from outside?
From outside, from Budapest. What we noticed, that there is definitely a movement in a decentralized workflow. Also after the COVID, and in general, Web3 shows us that decentralized workflow is the way. And we started considering ourselves as a decentralized collective. In this way, we put ourselves outside of the Hungary initially, and at the same time being here. Like it gives us the chance to communicate the idea freely within any market, because we are a decentralized collective. Also because all of my colleagues, all of my contacts now moved away from Russia. They are in different places, from US to Bali, and so different time zones. And I found this challenging to see how different time zones can merge, like in one workflow. And that's what we started like thinking about, how to build a decentralized collective. At the same time, we have guys from MoMA we are in touch with, and Cora is also from MoMA. She's an alumni of this school, so we are connected to this environment. And I'm also pretty connected, like with the what's happening in the city and people around this city, because I also met great people here in Budapest. And yeah, so we started like working with this, and now
but there
we
was
have
another two
Yeah.
important more elements, as
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see: what to do and who to do it for.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
what are your services and to get your clients.
Yeah.
If you can also mention a few things about that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
It
This
could
is
actually be inspiring for some people, I think.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you can make it just being around for maybe 2 years,
Yeah, when it's still a process.
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. So I
Yeah.
think I know many also people from outside of Hungary that came here to do studies and everything, and they complain about the lack of job opportunities they have. You
Yeah.
can be their idol.
No, I'm not into
No.
this. Yes.
At least a
like-
piece of inspiration you can give.
I will try. Hopefully. Yeah.
Just tell your story. That's more than
Yes.
enough.
Yeah. I mean, definitely everything is very challenging. Like it was in the beginning, it's very challenging. Still is very challenging. I think it's very important to say, because it's not easy. Like
If it was easy, everyone would do that.
Yeah. But still, I think not everyone, to be honest, because easy is also tricky. So, but it's not like, we cannot say that it's like super hard, like, because it is hard. It's a fact. And that's I always say, like, I try to be honest about any process. And few challenges that I faced. So I don't know Hungarian language. So that's definitely one thing. I didn't know English that much at that point as well. So I always also didn't feel connected, like, because immigration is very complex for the human psyche. And I didn't feel connected to myself, even like for a certain amount of time. So this influenced, like, as well, the perception of the beginning, like how to feel. Like in the first year, it was really challenging to understand what I'm actually doing here, why I moved to Budapest. I didn't understand. Like, I felt that I have to move here. I told this to people, like in Moscow, I had around myself, that I have to move, I said. I remember I had my birthday party, because I was born in June, and I put my friends together. I rented a house to have like a party, because I felt that it's going to be my last chance to meet all of my friends together. And I remember that point when I saw them like around the table, and we were like just hanging out, and I felt that it's probably the last time I see them and all together. And it was true. So it's already completely different now. Like with some people I have some contact, with some people we don't talk so much anymore. So I feel that it changed, and this influenced a lot the migration. And then, of course, this business idea, like with this creative agency, gave me some strength to talk about what I'm doing, because people need something to identify, like they could identify themselves through some kind of project, or through, like, I don't know, people identify themselves through the family, or through like their any kind of occupation.
It's a very deep human need.
Yeah, it's a need. And that's also what I felt, that I would love to like find a ground for myself. And I'm this kind of person who really loves working. So for me, work is very important. This is the main priority. Like I put my personal life and this like on the same level, but this is very important. I cannot put like it's like second, third priorities. Like it's very important. And I felt that, okay, this is gonna be the way. But what? Yes. So we started thinking like what we could do.
So you had the people,
Yeah.
at least the process started,
Yeah.
to know who to do something together with,
Yeah.
and then what to do.
Yeah. What to do. And we started as free, like 2 girls from China and me. And one girl left after a certain amount of time. She decided not to continue, and we just stayed together with Cora. We started thinking what to do. We were very slow in the beginning. We didn't understand. I was looking around what to do within the city, because I felt it's going to be site-based. So because I didn't know the time, to be honest, I wasn't aware about this Web3 movement in general. So I heard about it, I knew about it, but I didn't see myself
I
as a
guess you
part
mostly
of
heard
it.
about the crypto side of the things.
Yeah. I was mostly involved in this. I also had an exhibition in Metaverse once. Actually, yeah, that was also fun, an interesting story. But yeah, I wasn't involved in this directly, and I didn't understand like what exactly we could do, because I came from illustration and comics. So that was my as an art director, I was working with illustrators.
Comics, that sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
comics, actually. We really commercialized comics and made comics pretty as a medium, pretty big in Moscow. And
I was a huge fan of comics in the 90s.
Yeah. So I didn't work with comics before. I started working with the agency, but this really revealed to me this medium. But so I had this experience how to produce this kind of work. I had experience how to produce like video, music clips. I had experience how to produce, for example, photography projects or like lighting design projects, everything site-based. Only illustration was digital. And I felt, okay, in this way, what could I do? Like, what could we do as a producer if you consider ourselves completely digital? So what kind of digital products we can do? So one thing is website, brandings, whatever. But we found this layer of digital experiences, how to create experiences. And personally, it connected with what I was doing before, but in digital layer. So before that, I was working with spaces. I was thinking about how to create an experience for the viewer, for the spectator, for anyone who comes to the space, experience the light. So I was thinking about how to place light system, how to create the movement within the space, how it can work with the sound, with the actual surrounding that I had, that how this light can complement the space. And because of this, I had my certain understanding of dramaturgy, of how the space could work. I actually didn't I also had, because I studied journalism literature, I had always an understanding of theory, so about how things work. So this is very important for me, the theory part. And but at the same time, reading this, I was always thinking about what is my approach, how we work, how we consider the space, with people I was working with. And this helped me a lot to feel the space. So how to create the experiences. And then we came to the point when we started thinking, okay, if you work with digital, I found this medium as a creative front end. Creative front end and creative coding. So now it's really getting a big movement within digital services as well, how to build experiences in the web. And I really found amazing examples of how people build 3D websites where you
without any device, additional
device.
Just the screen.
Just the screen. Probably it will go further.
Of course.
Go further with AR.
But
stuff.
As of today,
it's
the screens that are dominating.
I think because of the screens, it's also so well done. It's very well optimized for visitors. But so I found out this medium, and I found people as well around the city. I found amazing guy Toby doing this kind of stuff, and he also showed me like what is this medium about. And I found this, and I felt, well, I want to direct this. I felt, and this is actually, it became one of our services, how we create experiences within the web. This is one thing. Another thing, like how do we create 3D work? Because also one thing that we noticed here, a big movement, like everything is digitalizing, and 3D is considering also as a product, as a very coherent product, existing separately already from even the digital product, as we see like in 3D fashion. And this is also what I was surrounded with in Moscow. That my best friend is a 3D fashion designer, and her name is Nastya. She's amazing, talented woman, I know. And since in this process, because I'm not the maker, like I'm a producer, and I consider myself also as an agent for them. So I know talents, and my work is to show these talents to the world eventually. And that's what I really love to do as well. This is a part of my life.
So you help practically companies get an entirely deeply different visual appearance, right? On screen.
Yeah.
Which is 3-dimensional.
Yeah, 3-dimensional. And also I had this one example. It just happened to me recently. I opened 2 websites. I don't know what I was looking for, but I was doing some research, and I found 2 websites, and both of them, they looked completely similar. And they had a white layout. They had a logo or something, a button, book a call, and some visuals. And the color of this website was white and purple. So let's say it was very basic layout. I opened the first website, thought, okay, this company is doing something. Then after a certain amount of time, probably in 30 minutes, I found this second website which looked similar. And I found, okay, this is actually something I saw. And because 30 minutes ago, it's already a time span, you don't already remember what you saw. I kind of forgot what I saw already before. I saw this website as well. But the thing is that both windows were open close to each other. And after like another 30 minutes, I went back to my window, and I kind of started like searching what I saw like in the last hour. And I opened one website, and I didn't read, like I just saw it visually. Then I opened second website, and I didn't understand, is it the same website or
same template?
Probably. Yeah, it's same template, but it's also same color, same visual, same kind of layout. And in general, it was so strange for me that I couldn't identify from the first sight what is what. I had to read, and to be honest, like there is no time to read now so much. And I was very surprised. Like this is the problem that I definitely
to create uniqueness.
Yes, because now everything is completely like getting identified.
Of all these services like WordPress and everything, templates. People try to save time on stuff, I guess.
Yes, but it doesn't help. Now, like, of course, it depends on the business. If you're like work in this very, very small segment of B2B, probably it works.
Even the menu points are always the same on the top of the websites. That's what I realized.
Yeah.
They all come from the templates as well.
Yes. And one thing that I was definitely surprised about this website. Only one thing was different, which is the button, book the call. One website had only one button in the right top corner, and another website has on the right top corner and also in the middle on the lower part of the screen. So 2 buttons. This was the only difference I identified visually from the first look. And of course, like I didn't understand like why. And that's what I found, and I see now this is as a problem, because definitely the visual landscape is something that we consume, because now most of the time we consume like online the information, and to actually stand out, the appearance has to be definitely different. And now it's so easy to do the design anyway, like AI can build whatever you want. And yesterday I was doing also prompting, and I bought a subscription for Stable Diffusion. Now I generate different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now like still to actually build something that will distinguish you in the market takes lots of effort. And because of this, we found, okay, I have this understanding of how to create experiences, and this something that I try to imagine first. And imagination, this is the process, this is the tool for me as well. This is not something abstract that like comes out only.
Is it kind of like a mind mapping process?
Yes, mind mapping. I was writing, I have an idea to write the text about what was the idea? Framework for imagination.
Okay.
So,
nice.
And I wanted to write a text, like a manifest, still like it in the process, because I kind of clarifying now different ways how to activate the imagination, because this is really something that definitely hard now to grab, because we consume similar information and we imagine similar information. And I think the basic of this idea is the process in the brain. That's what I started with, I think, this conversation. So basically, I was told, I also heard it, because everything it's not original. Not I really believe in this, but I think this what kind of information we consume and what kind of links we create, this is what is unique. And so the idea is that the memory and imagination, they are correlating processes, and imagination is dependent on memory. So basically, when I'm sitting in front of you and I'm memorizing this experience for myself, this is something definitely new for me. So it's not something that I experienced before in Budapest. So I will definitely remember this process, and I know that my imagination now is not working because I memorize now. And then when I want to imagine something, I have to cut imagination, because these are the similar processes happening in the brain. They are activated by the same chemical process. And because of this, I thought that, okay, if I want to imagine, in this case, I have to cut the memorizing. And also I found the body as as an important also element in this chain, that the body has to move. I don't know, I feel that this really helps to the brain to work better. And I started because I walk in one park constantly, I started just walking in the park back and forth. And it helped me to really find great solutions. So I just walk back and forth in one park many times, and I already, I think, know this park by heart, how it looks like, what kind of things I can see there, so that I don't really need to pay attention to what's happening around me. And in this case, I cut the process in the brain, which is the memory. And then imagination starts. And then this imagination gives this experience that you can put into the project. So this is the process of the workflow. And when we talk about this client orientation and the market, I see this as also one of the lacking element as well, that because of this, because everything has to be fast, of course, super fast, and fastly consumed, fastly created, published, checked, tested. Because of this, of course, many things lacking, but it's also can be used. Of course, it's also great because I think acceleration, I truly believe in this. And I see that since it creates the problem of multiplication of the same idea, it makes the landscape, the visual landscape, similar. And this is the problem. So definitely we made our own research, and the service, which is called Creative Frontend, is not something that you put on the table on the first side. But this is definitely something that needs to be done already to distinguish your brand.
But you also have to evangelize it, I guess. So it's not you have to evangelize it. It's not obviously there as a need from companies because they don't know it exists.
Yeah. So that's also what we communicate, and that's also what we see as a problem, and that's one of our strategy to show that this is not okay, because that's how eventually the interest lacks. In time it will be even worse, because now it's really easy to start anything you want and just buy one subscription and build it. And
but here comes the third thing, right? Because I think, and that's the culturally the toughest and hardest for Hungarians. I can tell you how to get the clients. Like now you have, and if you still wanted to say something, please don't hold yourself back. I didn't want to, interrupt your thoughts, but I'm really curious to get there. Now I see how you got the team. Now I see how you came to the idea of what to do for companies, and how did you find the clients?
Yes. So this is also another challenge. We cannot say again,
But probably, as I said, that's the biggest challenge for Hungarians.
This is biggest challenge for any company, I suppose. And that's also what I think a lot about, because I feel that not every channel works. What I try and what I do in general is definitely social media works. So I found out that Hungarian market is not the market where our services can be relevant. So this is something that we learned, and we started looking outside what we can do. Our positioning is around Web3, is around digital experiences. So it can be done online. We don't need to directly meet these people sometimes. Because also people I notice who work within this industry, they're
okay meeting people in person.
Yes. So that's also what I noticed. So that's why this was like our investigation. And what I do is, first, like, I spend lots of time in LinkedIn, to be honest.
That's LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, yes. Before that, I didn't use this app.
Useful.
Yes, it's useful. Very useful. That useful that I was, I think, blocked in this app, I think 3 times or something, because I was too active. Yeah, this is so funny, because I didn't use it before. So I literally had like 0 followers maybe 8 months ago.
Now you have 1 at least, which is me.
No, I have.
Now, of course, I'm just joking.
Now more. Yeah. So I have you. I have like, actually, I think the audience that I have now is very diverse, and quality-wise is definitely very, because I was trying to connect with like very, very great makers or artists or directors of different agencies. And I see it as a very great platform where people are ready to communicate. Of course, not every time it works, but I see it as a better channel, better than Instagram.
Instagram is for different things.
Yes, it's different things, but I have audience in the Instagram.
Yes.
I have audience, and I see now also it's hard to manage these 2 platforms, because you have to pay attention to, like, in different channels, different positioning, because I don't position directly in Instagram myself as a digital experience builder. There I work with performance and digital rituals, what I say. And like LinkedIn, how I see this process for myself, apart events, apart like considering also we are in the process of building collaborations. Now we have, I think, 2 free collaborations, 2 definitely running collaborations with on-site works, not here, directly here and outside of Hungary, in the Middle Asia. And what we see for ourselves is that most of the time it comes from LinkedIn. Like personally for me,
passively,
no,
by finding you, or you are you're reaching out cold, or what's the strategy
Yes,
behind?
so strategy is sometimes I'm reached out as well because I do some activities, and sometimes I also reach people. And I saw that how it worked for me, that of course not everything works, but I have this sense of what to write, probably, like how to approach. And I also tested different options. It's not like this sales approach that you try to sell something from the beginning. It's more about saying hi, like it was like it's really great to see what you're doing. And I definitely think so, because I also find like amazing examples of what people are doing. I feel like, oh, that's what people do in their
So you're
life.
honest. You're not
Yes.
faking
No,
your...
no. I don't feel like this is really the way.
I truly believe in that as well.
Yeah,
Not
so
faking is not
yeah.
not leading anywhere.
Yeah, it's always about finding the approach.
Yeah.
Like I go through the page, I read it, or I found it already before, so already connected to this person some time ago, and I already saw different posts, how the person thinks. And after that, I can reach out. Okay, hi. Like I saw your last post that you wrote about this, or I saw your last project, or I saw what you're doing in your agency.
But you really invested time into looking through those things,
yeah.
not just, dropping empty copy paste bullshit over.
No. I never write it with any AI apps. I always write it from myself, because I also feel that people feel how you write, and I see that the personal communication has to be built on the human relation anyway.
And your clients, where are your clients mostly at the moment? You mentioned Central Asia, so your clients are mostly there, or?
So currently we are, so our third partner, that what I didn't mention, Jade View, she is also from China. She's living in Boston. She represents deaf there. And we are now considering this area as the main goal.
So the US market.
Yes, US market. Definitely this positioning of a decentralized community gives us the space to approach any client, whatever we think. Of course, it cannot be completely fragmented. I also see it because you cannot approach this and this and that. It's also very blurry eventually. Now, currently, I don't see like Central Asia as the main market. So definitely we have connections established there. Middle Asia.
Which countries do you mean when you say Central Asia?
Not Central Asia directly. Sorry, I think this geographical. I think I say Middle Asia.
Middle Asia. Yeah. Sorry, then I was wrong. Sorry, I remembered wrongly. But which countries do you mean?
So currently, the city, like
Dubai. City?
Dubai. Yes, okay. Dubai. Yes, that's one of the markets, because I think there people are very interested in these experiences, and also. I definitely think like here I have connections in Budapest, and Budapest is as well for us as a beginning, like, because of course it's been a year of like an active phase, and the most active phase started, actually the launch was around November last year, 2023. So it's still the process, and in Hungary we had events. Like we had meetups, we had, I also went to many different events. So
that's
I have,
how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met as well. And so I have connections here, and this is also our market now.
Nice.
And I see as well as one of my goals, I have this a bit of, I want to do something. Like I see the problem and I want to show that this is important. And although of course, if like people are more ready for such experiences in the Middle Asia or in US here, like it's not so investigated, but I see it as one of my goals to show that this is important to think about and important to implement as a strategy to the marketing part of the any company. Because if any, like the internet is really developing, it's really already definitely meaningless to think that site-based business is something that is the only way for the company, because internet gives just the opportunity to just talk about your product anywhere you want. And but the difference is that this understanding of this visual language and visual landscape is so diverse, and it's not something that can be identified per each country. So, for example, in Boston, we talked to Jade. Just yesterday, we had another call with her. Every week, we have a general call, and she tells about how people think around Harvard, MIT, and it's definitely something very progressive. So people aware of technologies, aware of how the market has to work, and they look at this direction. So
they're in the forefront.
Yes, of course. She definitely even said this some meetings ago, that I gave some ideas, and sometimes she says that, here it's already kind of existing for several years, and here it's not existing yet. Yeah. So, and I see this, and my idea is to learn, to put together, because I'm also here and I can meet people here, and I can tell about it, and if I can do it while I'm living here, why not? So, and definitely think that experience is one of the basics elements of any product, of course, and not only the way how you put things together, the way how you put social media together, or the way how you put your website together, but even just how do you immerse yourself in the product, through what kind of channels. And I see we don't do marketing, this is not our service, but I see that these digital experiences in general, VR, AR as well, and also 3D in general, 3D products, 3D animations, in something that is a forefront of the current marketing strategies as well. So also for clothing brands, because I was working in fashion industry back then, and I see it as a tool for fashion brands as well, to do 3D clothing, because this creates new channel. It gives more freedom to interact with the clothing, and you can already have a social media content from your customer who didn't buy for example, a product, haven't bought a product yet, but who can already try on. And then after this, they already remember it. And this experience is about remembering. And we again come to this question of memorizing in imagination. And if you remember something, it puts this process into imagination, and then these people start thinking about it. Okay, actually there was this product, and or this beautiful coat that I saw, and I tried on, and I even got made a picture, and actually I want to buy it. Yes, and then you remember it, and then this person comes to you. So it makes the product more inclusive as well, because in this case, this digitalizing of physical products, putting it into AR systems, and giving the chance to people to try on wherever they want, and it gives different channels for the brand to present themselves, and at the same time to make the product more inclusive. So that's one of the things that I really believe in. And the thing is that a place I came from, there is so it's not like this there, of course. And that's also one thing that I really love to think about, that I want to learn. I want to spread this word, and decentralized workflow is something that I also think a lot. And I think about decentralized education, how to create systems where different people can participate in the people who don't have an access to education, especially to art education, because this is another conversation.
we
Sorry.
are running out of time, so
Yeah.
I have a last question to you, which is I can understand if you don't want to react on that because you were not prepared, but you studied literature as well.
Yes.
And can you tell a poem in your mother language?
In
Because
my
last
mother.
time and the first time when I met you, I also asked you to tell me something in your mother tongue because I was really curious to understand the sound of the language.
Yeah.
But now I have this crazy idea. Maybe you are not prepared, then I fully accept that. Don't feel stressed about it. But if you know a poem in your mother tongue, maybe just a few lines, that would be amazing to hear.
So mother language, you mean Russian or you mean Sakha?
Sakha.
I don't have a poem. So
you can fake it. No one will understand anyway. So
no, it's not okay. But I have a text that I learned, and this is a text of mine.
Okay.
And
because I guess the audience have never ever heard your mother tongue before.
Yeah. Элипстен барыта. Кини ухукта хуонна дехсибыгылах полан олох онгахугдугар майгынныр. It means that ellipse is everything. Ellipse is everything, and the shape of the ellipse reminds the way how life works. So I had a text which is a part of my artwork I did last year. It was a performance piece, and I was writing a manifest about the elliptical shape, and I see ellipse as a metaphor for the life progression, because this is, in my opinion, the only shape that has a speed, and speed is time.
Because it speeds up.
Yes. Yeah. Because it has a sharp point.
But that's also how the universe works.
That's also how the universe works. Everything is elliptical, and also the sphere, like the circle, is another form of ellipse anyway. So everything is elliptical, and every season I think of my life journey, I have different shapes that I admire. And back then I had the shape of a triangle. So I was working with triangles in many different ways. And I see ellipse now as one of the main shapes. After like several years, I think triangles were the main shape of my 2020, 2021. And now this is ellipse. So I really see it as a great metaphor of how, in general, life works. And another shape is square. Because when I started working with digital, I was thinking about the primordial shape of the digital space. And if the ellipse is a primordial
primarial or prime?
I mean, it's like initial. So the initial shape of the universe is the ellipse. In digital space, it's a square because pixel is square. So, and that's also how the branding of Dev was built, that everything is based on squares, and squares are always possible to be reordered in your own way. And I see it as a combination of these shapes. They are very intersimilar, I could say. And but if the shell, but ellipse is an example of the speed. Yes. And so I think this is the line that I have in my native language about this.
Thanks for your time and sharing everything. And I hope to meet you soon. And, and where can we find your events? You mentioned you are organizing meetups.
Yes. So currently we are in the process of building an online event. It's going to be a digital symposium. Yes, for different professionals within the digital area.
How can we find it?
We are going to publish it, I think, in summer. Yeah, currently.
Okay. Then what's the website link where we can find it?
So it's a DEFFcollective.com.
Okay, that was the message I was trying to get out of you.
DEFFcollective, .com. This is our website. The Dev Collective can be found anywhere. And just stay in touch. And thank you a lot for this.
Thanks for the
experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.